What's up, YouTube community? I am back, and this is the JuiceMan3941. Konnichiwa, gamers. Bitches. What's happening? We are at, please, pull up a chair, come to the table, pull up a mug, a bear, and enjoy episode 50 of the Gaming Roundtable. We have reached episode 50. Unbelievable that we've gotten that far. I just got done finishing episode 49, talking about what Watchdog needs. This particular episode is entitled E3. That's right, E3. Everybody else has done videos about E3. I might as well too. I went on YouTube today and I watched a E3 showing all the trailers for PS4 of games that are coming out on the PS4. Mostly exclusive stuff. I also watched trailers video of Xbox One and seeing what was coming out for that. I don't own an Xbox One, but that's okay. I still like to stay on top of things and what's coming out. I will say this. It's a very impressive showing, YouTube community. It has been very, very impressive. Some of the stuff coming out in particular, the PS4 in particular, with your games like Horizon Zero Dawn is coming out. That looks like an amazing open world game. It's almost like a primitive versus machines kind of thing. It just looks like a fun and interesting game. That's just one of the trailers that I remember watching there. They did show Resident Evil 7, which I'm absolutely not going to buy and have no interest in. Mainly because the last several Resident Evils, including Umbrella Corps, which is not really part of the Resident Evil series, basically fucking suck. It's ass. 6 was ass, 5 was ass, and they just, I don't know what Capcom is doing. It's unbelievable that they continue to make games and just, I don't know what they're doing. That's a whole nother subject, but I could do 4 episodes on Capcom, to be honest with you. But E3... we saw a lot of cool stuff, and what was neat about some of the trailers were they turned some more trailers. Like, they actually showed us gameplay, like the opening minutes of Horizon Zero Dawn, the opening minutes of the new God of War. I think it's really interesting that they are doing this and showing us gameplay, and it looks really, really solid. Like, God of War's new camera system looks really cool. It's very kind of Gears of War-ish. And there's just some really, really cool games coming out. Crackdown looks really amazing for Xbox One, and they've got some great titles coming down the line, so your Xbox One users will not be left out, obviously, because of that, you know. Not to mention, I watched some other trailers for multiple systems from the new Destiny expansion that looks like something that might make me want to jump back into Destiny again. Looked really fantastic. Of course, Deus Ex, my God, I love Human Revolution. I'm a big fan of Deus Ex. This is going to be an amazing, amazing game when it comes out. Hey, I know it's really short notice, but the green light's on. I got a word from our sponsor. What's going on, buddy?
That's right, I'm here. I'm here to talk about the E3 with the Juice Man. But first we got to have the beer in the throat. Oh, it's delicious.
Thank you, Arnold, for stopping by. I'm talking about E3. This is episode 50. If you're just joining me, please pull up a chair, sit at the table, grab you a mug, if you're able. Wait a minute, that rhymed. I didn't really... Anyway. E3 is shaping up to be very, very good. But I'm going to say this, that I do look at some of these trailers with some trepidation. E3 historically, for the last few years, has shown us games that were not quite what they ended up being when it came out. Watch Dogs was one of these games. Aliens, Aliens, was Colonial Marines from Gearbox, was false. And a lot of times we have seen companies show us these E3 trailers or whatever, gameplay footage or whatever, and we see, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do this, and I don't know if they're trying to get buyers or whatever they're trying to do, and it's not quite up to par. So even though I was really excited for some of these trailers, at the same time, I was like, but is it going to be what I saw at E3? And that's the thing that you kind of got to look and judge. For the last few years, there are companies that will show us the stuff at E3, the games that are coming out, the games that they're doing, and they're exactly what they say when they ultimately get released, whether it's 2 months from now or towards the end of the year. But there are companies, Ubisoft and EA is really bad about this. They show us the gameplay footage, they show us, and they talk about what they're going to do, and then the game comes out, and it's none of that stuff. And I don't know if they're just really excited or they're just trying to generate that hype. And then all of a sudden, when the game comes out, maybe it got released a little earlier than it should, or there wasn't enough QA testing, and the game isn't up to snuff. So I just want to tell you, if you go on YouTube and you watch the Sony trailers or the Xbox One trailers, really, I mean, it looks amazing. But just keep in mind that some of those may not be what we've seen. Some of that stuff ends up being tech demos, or it's stuff that they do on the PC with higher resolutions and 60 frames of animation, and it doesn't always wash. So always look at E3 trailers with a little bit of skepticism, so you're not setting yourself up for disappointment. There was even an E3 trailer for the Technomancer, which is coming out Tuesday. Now I have that completely paid in full. I've had it paid in full for a while, as a matter of fact, and Tuesday I'm going to be bringing you some gameplay videos from right when the game comes out. I'm going to start the game off, and I don't normally do gameplay videos, but you're going to see it this time. There was not too much coming out of Nintendo. At E3, there was a little bit, of stuff that was shown, but not a whole lot. NX was not really wholeheartedly talked about. Wii U's kind of like whatever it's doing. Yes, there's a Zelda coming out for it, and Wii U owners, Zelda's an amazing game series. Been through the first one, the second one, the one on Super Nintendo. The only one I really haven't really played is Ocarina of Time, which people always tell me, I'm like, are you serious? How could you not play that? I just never played it. It's one of those oddball things I never got around to. If you're just joining me, this is JuiceMan3941. Pull up a seat at the Gaming Roundtable. This is episode 50, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube, my subscribers, thank you for hanging in there with me. Thank you for hitting that like button, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. We are at episode 50. Unbelievable. I just started this channel a few months ago, and we're already at episode 50, talking about E3 and some of the things that I saw that really impressed me, and some of the things that I kind of feel like may not necessarily wash out. Out of all the trailers, out of all the games that I saw, outside, of course, I just really, really am looking forward to No Man's Sky, and I'm really looking forward to Technomancer. Out of all the trailers, and of course, PS4 is kind of like the system of choice for me. Out of all the stuff for PS4 that I saw that was coming out, including God of War, which looked fun, to be honest with you, Horizon Zero Dawn is the one game I was like, wow, that just looks very dynamic. I love what they're doing so far, what I've seen on that game. That's one of the games that really are intriguing me, and the new Ghost Recon. This is a Ghost Recon that's also open world, which is like a really change of pace for that series. And I was a big fan of Ghost Recon Future Soldier. A lot of people didn't like it. I think the multiplayer in that game was fantastic, and I really did enjoy Future Soldier. But to see this new Horizon Zero Dawn really looks interesting. And another game that looks really interesting, I think it's called Days Past or whatever, and it's some kind of apocalyptic type game, and a guy's on a motorcycle. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Last of Us. That game looks really, really interesting, and I'm kind of curious about what more as that's going to be bringing to the table. E3 is the showcase for these companies to show us what they've got coming down in the pipeline, and I was impressed pretty much with all of it. For the most part, there was some, again, I wasn't really interested in the new Resident Evil, just because they've had such a disappointing last few games, and that's one of those things I'm like, I could take it or leave it. I don't really care. That ship sailed a long time ago for me. I'm not a Resident Evil fan anymore. And it's just because they've had too many games that's just been utter trash. What I'm really surprised, though, at E3 is there wasn't a whole lot of talk from, like, you're watching Evolve here. I didn't really hear anything out of Turtle Rock trying to expand upon this game or make it part 2. There's some things that I was surprised that they're not working on. Watch Dogs 2 was very surprising to me because I was like, wow, really? Because like no one has talked about that game, and then all of a sudden they're making one, and so that's an interesting thing to see. And there are a lot of really, really good games coming down the pipeline this year. I mean, and we're not talking just at the end of the year. We're talking like literally almost every month there's something coming out that looks worthwhile or playable. And I think towards the end of the year it's going to be really bad when November hits, and November, December, September, when there's probably going to be 10 games out there. I mean, you're going to have to be like getting a second job just to be able to play these games. And thank you, Sean. What's up? How you doing, buddy?
Yes. I'm here to drink beer in a throat for Juice Man. I had sex with your mother last night. Let's drink it. Yes. Very good.
Thanks, Sean. Anyway, the last video got a little lengthy there, and I know I gave a guy that gave me a comment, a bit of a razzing because, he commented because he really didn't know what my channel was about and wanted to know why I was talking to myself. I'm talking to myself because that's what the channel's about, right? I don't do this with people. I do this for you, the people, the community, to listen to me talk about games and the subjects that matter to me. I didn't really see anything coming out of a Megaforce either. I actually was looking forward to perhaps another Dynasty Warriors because they're pretty much an annual release. I didn't see anything about Dynasty Warriors 9 or maybe another Empires. I was looking up YouTube videos, is anything on Dynasty Warriors. Couldn't find anything, so kind of a no-show from them, which is surprising. Then again, though, they may not be part of E3. They might go to the Tokyo Game Show or maybe PAX, and they might, PAX, and they may be doing those shows and not E3. But still, it'd have been nice to see something out of them. E3 looked very, very promising and much more impressive this year than it did last year. And that's, again, one of those things. But just keep in mind, my YouTube community and my subscribers out there, just keep in mind that some of this stuff may be a little hyped. So don't necessarily, get into it to the point where when the game does come out, I hope that it's not disappointing to you, because that's the thing. I was excited about some of the trailers, but at the same time, the same trailers, I'm like, as cool as that might be, I'm not going to completely put all my eggs in one basket to say that it's going to be like the be-all, end-all, this badass video game that's coming out. Anyway, in closing, this is going to be a short video. I want to tell you all, go on YouTube, look up PlayStation 4 E3 trailers. There's a video that shows every trailer that they've shown. It's about 30-40 minutes long. Xbox did the same thing. Even if you're not an Xbox user, it's really cool to see what they're coming out with. These trailers are really, really fun to watch, and a lot of them do show gameplay. They're not just a bunch of cinemas or something where you're not really seeing gameplay. It's nice to see that. Really, out of all of them, I still think Horizon Zero Dawn is the most interesting of the lot. It looks very single player focused, which is nice to see. It's not just a multiplayer game. Yes, we've all seen the Infinite Warfare trailer and the Battlefield 1 trailer and other stuff that's already came out. But some of the stuff that's coming down the pipeline is going to be, it looks to be amazing, and I really hope that they do deliver on what they're showing thus far. I am the Juice Man 3941. Come Tuesday, please, when I get come Tuesday, I'll be doing a live gameplay play-by-play footage, starting a brand new game of Technomancer. It'll be the first time I've really done that, and hopefully that goes well, and you can see what Technomancer is all about, and maybe I can get you some interesting. Some of the early reviews of that game, just to throw that in real quick before I leave you, the combat they've actually compared to The Witcher. And they've actually said that they've compared not just the combat to The Witcher, but they said some of it has some Mass Effect-like elements with the conversation system and the way that it works. It looks like Spiders decided to borrow from other sources to have inspiration for this game. So I think it's going to be a really cool game when it comes out. I am a hair disappointed in the fact that the character is not gender-friendly game. You can't make a female Technomancer. Zachariah Mancer is your character's name. and it's a he, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. It's more focused on his character, but it would have been nice to have gender friendly. I've always been an advocate of that. I think it's great when you have a role play game where you can play either or. Mass Effect does it. Even Diablo 3 has it now. It's nice to see that. Anyway, thank you for joining the Gaming Roundtable, and I'll see you next time, possibly Tuesday, on the Gaming Roundtable. And as always, gamers, good fucking gaming.